Right, what do you want to see first? Pipe detail?
Yep.
Okay, so we do make the pipes pre-made, fix them down, nail them down to the roof, and then laminate, tape around them, yeah? 2 layers, etc, etc. But you can make your own, quite simple. Tank cutter, get the right size tank cutter so you've not got a big baggy hole for it to go into, yeah? Send the pipe through there, either fix it below with clamps or whatever you want to fix it in there, or from the top, fix around the outside rim, yeah? For a pipe detail, if it's a round detail like this, you don't need any kind of primer because the actual resin will actually hold it tight to the pipe. If it's a square or anything like that, you will need a primer, whether it's a metal pipe or a PVC pipe. If it's a plastic pipe, then use the single ply primer because that's for plastic, yeah? If it's just a pipe through the roof, no problem at all. You get my brush, clean up around this one. So I said this one I've done before, yeah? So to make this work, you need the mat, which is going over the top of the pipe, which is what you've done on your rigs already, yeah? Okay, so you've got your mat going over the top. You need a reinforcement bandage, because you also bandage your detail, so like you've done in your rigs. Go all the way around there with a bandage. Get that ready to go, yeah? And then you need a cravat to build the 150 up. So this is about 200mm, so I'm doing, making it big enough so I've got some going to the deck as well. Wet that, and then basically you're just going to fold it round and form it up with that piece of mat. No special bits of kit, piece of pipe we've already got knocking about, hole through the roof and make your own pipe detail, yeah? Okay, then when we've done this, we're going to roll it over and do an outlet detail, which is on the opposite side. The catalyst, thank you very much. And then on this rig, we've done the anti-slip and a quick repair with the FlexiTec. FlexiTec is basically just a repair paste, nothing fancy about it. Nothing fancy if we can go scoop in there somewhere. There we go. Okay, so nothing's changed temperature wise in here, so mine it's 3 scoops. When you do your rigs, I'm going to give you the exact amount of resin to cover your rigs, yeah? So we always do just 1 scoop, okay, into that. Okay, so as before, get it mixed in. Spend a bit of time mixing it in, don't just whack it in there and get a quick whip round, yeah? If you've got a mechanical mixer, if you're doing big mixers, now if you're going to go for the main area, for the roof itself, don't mix the powder straight into the keg. Dilute that keg into 2 separate portions, yeah? In that keg there's around about 14 litres, yeah? Which is enough to do both the top coat and the base coat for the total coverage, yeah? You don't have to buy a separate tin top coat, it's exactly the same rig, yeah? So 14 litres in there. I'll give you around about 10 square metres on a nice smooth surface, but it can drop down to 7.4 square metres if it's a really rough surface. Obviously it absorbs a bit more with the base layer. Top layer's always half a litre per metre, no matter what. Your coverage rates are in the manual, when we actually look at manuals later on, so you'll be able to see what amount of resin you need to actually do your job. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to do the anti-slip next. We're going to do the pipe detail first. Okay. Okay, so again, get your gloves on. Don't work with this without gloves on. You've probably seen me mixing it up, it's all over my hands. You can clean your hands with acetone, but don't use acetone if you've got any kind of dermatitis or dry skin problem, because all acetone will just take the oil out of your skin and end up with cracks, splits and all sorts, yeah? Your best thing is prevention, best prevention, get some gloves on here. Right, detail, we're going to put bandage down there first, and obviously with bandage we already know if we wet the fiberglass mat out first it makes it more malleable and easier to work, yeah? So I'm going to put that onto my spot board and basically just wet my bandage out to start with. Get plenty of resin on there, get it wet through, all the way through. Roll it over, because we all know by now you put the resin below, and that's the reason why. Because if you put resin on the top, it's just going to get through, yeah? And then let that relax a while, okay? While that's relaxing, I've prepped my pipe up. If it's an existing pipe I'm repairing or doing that, I basically sand it up that's already there, yeah? Sand that up and then get your pipe covered. All the way around the pipe, very much like we did with the corners. Wet your pipe, it gives something to bond to, yeah? Plus, you know that resin's underneath it as well. Don't put back in the pot. Get your mat ready that's going over the top of this. Now this will be incorporated when you start putting your main areas down, so basically just roll it out, tear over the top and carry on through the pipe. Don't cut your mat, basically just rip a hole into it so it's going to fit over the top of there, yeah? If you start cutting star shapes in, you're going to have weak points because you'll cut them too big and your star shape will actually spread into the main area, okay? We've got that ready. We've got the cravat ready as well, so we're okay with that. We've got my cravat that's going all the way around it, yeah? And that's ready to go, okay? Okay, so while I've been jabbing on, this is ready to go. This is my bandage, yeah? I'm going to drop my bandage into there so it's half and half, yeah? Half and half onto the deck, half onto the pipe itself. Then use the end of my roller. You've all done this. Basically bash it with your roller, bash it around. When you're actually stretching the mat, but you're not letting it bunch up. Basically just bash it into place, yeah? Hit the bottom edge of it, so as you hit it, it spreads it out. So it spreads around a lot easier. And bring the two together, yeah? So now you've got your main area down, so you need to roll that a little bit. Roll that a bit, make sure it's well bonded to the pipe. Okay with that? And because it's been wet for a while, it just melds into place, drops in, and make sure it's all consolidated all the way around. Okay? Then the actual bandage itself, this bit going over the top of it, sorry, the mat itself. Yeah, 70% resin down onto the deck to start with. So get plenty of resin onto the deck. You all know by now, don't start spreading it out, just get it in there and get it spread around, yeah? You're applying it, not painting it on, okay? Again, don't go back into the pot. Get your mat over the top. Try to avoid pulling that bandage off as you're putting this over the top of there, and then basically just get prodded down, yeah? So like you did in yours, now I'm wetting out, yeah? So get your mat nice and wet through. I'm not going to consolidate it yet. I'm going to get all the rest together and then consolidate the whole lot in one piece. Yeah. So now I've got a 450 bandage around the pipe. I've got 225 mat coming up the pipe. I've got resin all the way around there. I'm not worried about pinholes just yet. Just wetting out. Yeah. Make sure I've got no fiberglass showing. You all the resin through, all good. This piece of bandage I'm putting around here, again, I'm going to wet that bottom half out, just to allow it to relax and spread round. So on top of my existing work, it's not going to hurt it. Get some resin into there, both sides. Flick it round in itself, resin into there. Now we know that we've got to let this relax, so put it to one side to relax. Get some resin and get resin on the pipe itself, get plenty on there, all the way around the pipe. And if it runs down to the bottom, that's good, because that has now given that 30% you want to consolidate with, yeah? Get all consolidated in. Now if you're coming to the end of a day, yeah, you know that the side of the mat for the underlaps would have a nice straight edge on it. To make it blend in better on the next day, if you take the leading edge and just break it down like you did on the front of your models, break it down, just feather it in so it doesn't stand out, and then when you start the next day, 50mm overlap, because there's all the lap you need, 50mm overlap, feathered edge onto there, and it'll just blend in, you won't actually see the joints, yeah? So straight edges, such as that, just get in there, pass them out, and then roll one flat. So your straight edge disappears, when you bring your next piece onto it, it just melds in better, okay? Okay, so now we're going onto the pipe itself. Like we did with the bandage, get bonded to the pipe, yeah, to start with. Get it half and half, so you've got all the pipe covered. Make sure you've got 150 there at least, yeah. This bit on bottom, doesn't really matter what it is, the more's on bottom better, yeah. And again, just bashing it out like we did last time. Bash that bottom and roll it to the pipe. Bash the bottom out, roll it to the pipe. Bash the bottom out. So we've got all the way around the pipe. Same with this side, bashing that bottom out, dressing it in, taking it round as you go, bond it to the pipe. And when you get to the overlap side of it, make sure you get resin into your overlap to bond your resin together. Yeah? Okay with that? Now we're checking to make sure we've got no pinholes, make sure everything's consolidated together. You've got a 450 mat underneath it, then you've got 225, then 225 again, so you've got 900 gram in that area there. And the benefit, it's actually lifted it slightly off the deck, so any water standing around it, if it's a flat roof, is not going to sit around that area, it's going to dish away. Okay, consolidating all the way around, make sure we've got nice curly fibres, all the way around the pipe, make sure it's well bonded in there, make sure we've got no pinholes around that bottom edge. Up the pipe itself, keep rolling that till it's going curly. If it's a little bit big, bring it down. Just by bashing it, bring it down a bit. It's all level, that's it, roll that in. And to make a better job of it, if you want to, it could be something that's visible, easily visible from the top. So what do we do with that?
Tissue.
Yeah, a bit of tissue, there you go. So a bit of tissue on there. Get that bit off. All the way around the pipe. Drop it in place. Keep it nice and tight. Get the underlap part down first. Make sure there's no loose fibres. And then bring your other piece over the top of it. And roll it in. So bring the resin through from below. Watch out for loose bits. All the way around. Any air bubbles, just keep working them, they'll go, but you just need working. Work your way down to the bottom there, chasing the resin round. So yeah, we do pipes, we make pipes, we can do the pipe detail, and you'd have to bandage all the way around it and laminate in, but yeah, a little bit of just over 7 minutes, that's the pipe detail formed with tissue. Okay with that? Easy enough, remember that? Okay, that's the opposite side down there. So, an outlet. Yeah, you okay with that? Outlet. Sand your outlet down. If you bring your pipe through, when you first bring your pipe through, make sure it's well fixed, and then just chamfer that edge down there so you've got a bit fall into it. Yeah? So into there, we need a bandage. So, pot on the top again. Bandage to go inside there. Make sure it fits in, make sure you've got a bit of an overlap. Yeah? Onto my spot board, get it wet out. Roll over, make sure you get both sides, make sure all the fibres are covered, make sure there's no white bits showing anywhere. Okay, onto the pipe, onto the top initially, all the way around there, get round, then into the pipe itself. Now all PVC pipes have got a 60mm connection, yeah, so you need to get down there, well that's handy because you can get down there 60mm with a roller and actually get plenty of resin down in the pipe itself. Okay, okay with that? Get your bandage, drop it into the hole, leaving 20mm sticking up. 80mm bandage, 20mm sticking up means you've got 60mm down the pipe itself where the resin is. Yeah, get stuck to the sides. Out with your roller, roll it in there. So all the way around, keep rolling it in. And then break it down on the tops there. So that little bit of a recess you did with the angle grind or whatever you've done, this is going to sit in that recess so it doesn't build up. Yeah, break it down. Roll it out from the centre outwards so it's feathering that edge off on that edge, so you're not going to build up around that outside edge. All sitting in nice and flat. Into the pipe itself. Work in that pipe, get it right into there, make sure it's bonded to the pipe properly. Don't leave any loose fibres in there. If you leave any loose fibres, first time you get a little stick going down there, it'll get stuck, and then another one gets stuck, and eventually you've got blockage, yeah? Which brings me to outlets. If you put an outlet in a building, if you've only got one outlet in that roof, let's say it's a parapeted wall all the way around, if you've got one outlet, there's a 100% chance of that outlet getting blocked, isn't there? Yeah? So it might be an idea to put some kind of splitter outlet to the outside edge. Yeah? If you only got one outlet going through the roof, through the wall itself, 50mm from the deck, put a splitter outlet or a side outlet, which will only kick in if that gets blocked. So it'll kick water out the side if they're blocked, yeah? A bit like your toilet system, when your system's not working right and it's overflowing, it'll basically come out a little pipe on the outside, won't it? That does the same. So it lets the householder know they've got a blockage with the outlet. So when they ring you up and say, my roof's pissing water out of that little pipe at the side, it's because your outlet's blocked. There's no need for a site visit, because you know what it is. Find your outlet, clear your outlet out, and that's why it's kicking in, yeah? Now bear in mind, if it is a parapet situation all the way around, 3 metre by 3 metre, 1 metre high parapet, if that's blocked and the water builds up to the full height of that, that's 9 square metre of water. Water weighs 1 tonne per metre. So that roof's never designed to carry 9 tonne on top of it. So be very careful. If one outlet, chance for blockage, 2 outlets, 50-50 chance. The more outlets you can get in there, the less chance for blockage. Yeah? If you can't get more outlets in, a splitter outlet at the side, which will only kick in if that gets blocked. Okay, onto the main area on top. So again, resin down first. Then your mat, your main area mat. Drop that onto there. Wetting out. Okay so far? Any questions? Find the middle. You know where the middle is because it'll dip in as soon as you start rolling it. Bit of resin in that middle there. Plenty in that middle. Because when you break it down, it goes in the pipe. You need that resin in there to actually break down and go down the pipe itself. Yeah. We're going to start consolidating the top. Yeah. So that's your 30% on top. And start rolling it till you get wavy fibres. You've got a straight edge night where you're finishing off at night. Break them straight edges down, feather them in. Okay, and all I'm looking for now is just those fibres going nice and wavy for me. Yeah. Into the pipe itself, help it along, stick your finger in there, and then basically start dressing it to the side. Okay, now because this is a pipe, you are going to get movement expansion on there. Not as much as the pipe on top, which that's coming through into the daylight, this is disappearing down. If you are sending a pipe anywhere through a building, into the main area of the building, make sure when your pipe goes through the wall, into the ceiling void or whatever, get it well lagged inside, otherwise you'll have condensation issues with it. If you're sending cold water down this into a warm room, it'll just condense around the pipe, and next minute your client will be ringing up saying, I've got black patches all over my ceiling, like lines in my roof where I can't see where it's coming from. Yeah, and that's basic condensation getting in there. Okay, all the way around, make sure you're happy with that. Now don't forget this is only base coat, what you've done on yours, so you're going to put another top coat on, which is convenient, isn't it, base coat. So we're going to put top coat on that one. And you'll see all them fibres that we're showing on there.
Just putting it down on top of the base coat before you put the top coat on you.
Yeah, this is the base coat, this is that before.
Yeah, because you just put it straight down on top of it.
Well, you've got to let it go off. Yeah, let it go off first, but then you can apply it straight to it. Yeah, you don't have to wait a couple of days. Yeah. As soon as you can walk on that roof, I think they're all dry now, aren't they? Yeah. As soon as you can walk on that roof, you get in there, start dressing it out, and get your top coat in.
What about if you need to put scaffolding at a later date? Is it okay to put scaffolding on it with planks?
We spread the plates, obviously. Yeah. Don't put tube. Don't do through the plates. It might be an idea to get some old carpet or something, put them under the boards, so they don't get damaged. Because scaffold boards have been hammered quite a bit. You've got the end plates that could split and break into it. Yeah, just protect it with a bit of old carpet or something like that, just to give it a bit of a cushion under the boards. But yeah, the weight of the scaffold onto this is not going to affect it at all. It's down to the structural strength of your deck. Yeah. Yeah. So you know, if you've got a good strong deck, you can build what you want onto it. But obviously, if it's just a weak deck with 450 centres on there and really thin timbers on a small roof, just be careful what you put on it. Yeah. Okay, so now you've got from old to new, and you can see there, because we've feathered them edges in on that old stuff. Yeah, basically just drop straight in. Yeah. Okay, doke. Yep. That. Right, that's the pipe repair then. Okay, we're going to do 2 repairs on here. We're going to do a temporary and a full repair. Yeah. That's it for later. So, temporary repair using the FlexiTec. Basically, you'll have seen this before. There's some products out there very similar to it. You'll look at this and I'll say, well, it's just acropole. It's very similar to acropole. It's a polyester with fibres in it. But the difference is, if you use acropole, you'd have to put a primer on top of it before you put asbestos on. With this one, you can direct to it. Okay? So if you do a repair with this, now it is only a repair paste. That said, on camera, there's a job in Sheffield where they use this. In the middle of Sheffield town centre, the contractor went bust. And you've got to get the roof done, get it watertight to get some kind of payment in. And the contractor decided the quickest way to do it on a concrete roof, get some of this just painted onto it. He did, that was about 8-9 years ago now. It still ain't leaking, yeah? So it's applied to a nice dry surface, dry concrete, even though it's still, it was tamped, it weren't even smoothed over or skimmed. Dress this into it, they used gallons of it to be honest, but it did the job and it's still working today. I think because the surface was tamped rather than dressed in and smoothed off, it probably helped it because you give it a good bite again. Okay, which one do you do temporary on? We've got 2 bits of damage there. Can you just confirm you were hitting this when you, yeah, and you still didn't manage to break through it? It's tough stuff. All right, there's always speed underneath it. There's no joist there. There's a joist there, but nothing in this area. Yeah. So all we're doing with this is a temporary repair. Just get some of this on your roller, on your brush, whichever you want to do. That one.
Yeah.
And just fill it in. So it's watertight as soon as this goes down. But this will stay flexible. Yeah. Just get it worked in. If you use a brush, work it in with a brush. If you use a spatula, work it in with a spatula. Yeah. But all you're doing, dressing it in, and then flattening it out, and then get rid of the surplus, which you can't do because I ain't got another piece of this. There we go. How's that? Okay. So all you're doing is just filling it in. Get it something like level. And as a temporary repair, well, that's quite well. So a lot of the guys actually work with our systems because they're actually going to put resin on top of this. They'll use this stuff. Yeah, it works really well. Take it in with you when you actually go out to site, when you do your assessment on the roof to find out what you need to do it. If you've got that tin of that in the van and you can see an obvious leak that's only going to get worse and you can't do it straight away, you could do a quick repair on it. Say to your client, I've done a temporary repair, and that's all it is, temporary. Yeah. Here's your price for your job. Yeah. When you start it, but I can't do it for 3 weeks because I'm busy. Yeah. But at least you've got temporary. It's not going to get any worse.
So is it going to be sticky, or what is the consistency of it?
Well, this when it's gone off, it'll skin over on the top and it'll stay semi-fluid underneath.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I say it's a bit like alcohol and things like that. Yeah. Okay. Full repair. So that's damaged. Pretty bad damage there. So you get a bit of sandpaper. Basically just rough that area up. It could be several years old, this roof, and scaffold has been working around, dropped the scaffold tube through it or dented it like this. If it's only a small dent, it's not a problem. Obviously if it's a big hole in there, you need to actually cut the board out, put a new board below it. But just a dent like that, to repair that, back to a good old tape. That's all we're going to use on this. Get a bit of tape, and take a glove off. That's all right. Don't go mad with it, because you want to put fiberglass in there. This is just to stop the resin falling through, so a bit of tape over the top of that. Yeah, hold it together, stop the resin falling through underneath. Yeah, resin on top of that. And then some just random bits of fiberglass mat, which I did have here. Where have they gone? They're the ones, we've got it. Okay, so we're going to double it up, just to be double sure. Yeah, first piece on, bring the resin through. Just a random shape on this one, don't worry about it too much, but don't forget you have got to go back, so allow an hour for this, because once this is done you've got to go on top of it. Yeah, but what you're doing now is just reinforcing that area, so now you put 450 gram mat on top of there. There's not a massive amount of hole underneath it, you're only going to fall through that if you've got your stilettos on, so that's on at weekends, isn't it? Okay. Okay, consolidate it, you know, keep working it. If you don't want to go straight away, figure of 8 with your roller, basically curls it all up. Get your first layer down. Once your first layer's down, yeah, if it's flat, brilliant. Mask up the area you need and doing top layer, actually make it look like a repair. Don't just do random patches. Mask it up so it's got nice square edges on there, so when the client looks at it, they can see it's been repaired. End of the day, they don't want it invisible. It will blend in, and within a couple of weeks we'll look shit in the air, it'll not match it now. Yeah, okay? So your second layer is basically just mask up, make it good. Okay with that? Right, I'm going to put that to one side because I've got a little bit of time to mess about with that. Anti-slip. So with this one here, all I've done is masked up the areas where I don't want the resin to actually sit. Now if you're doing a full balcony, yeah, you'd mix some of this up and basically do the whole balcony. But leave it 100mm at the outside edge, so water to drain off easier, yeah. Okay, a bit of catalyst in there. Now I don't need a massive amount of catalyst in this because I've only got a mouthful of stuff in there, so half a scoop will do me for that. Awkward details, little bits, use a brush. All you're going to do is basically just stipple it in, so it leaves a bit of a texture to the top. Now this has got quartz sand in it, yeah, so once the resin actually sets and starts to drop through the bottom, the quartz sand will come to the top and just leave a rough edge on it, yeah. So you can use that, or you can use a roller. Okay, so get your roller well stoked. Now you can see straight away that there's grit in there. It's actually applied, it's suspended in the resin. Now I'm using green today, but we've got all different colours. We've got 8 base colours, and then when you put it on there, you can see the grit coming through straight away. Yeah. Now if you use a 2-inch roller and a 4-inch roller, you're not doing it sideways like I'm doing this. Just apply it, get plenty on to start with, and then you can feather it out afterwards. So just 2-inch roller, just feather it through until you get a nice even finish on it. Keep working it until you get total coverage and a half decent finish, yeah? Now I've done this as a chevron because lots of walkway systems or fire escape systems, if you think about it, you're on a roof and it's on fire or it's gone pitch black and you can't see a damn thing on the roof. You stumble around on the deck, because advice with fire is get down as low as possible and get down the hands and knees and try and keep a load of smoke. So you're on a dark roof and you can't see the walkway, but now you'll be able to feel it. And you feel the walkway, if it was just normal straight stripes straight across it, and you got to the walkway, I found the walkway, which way do you go? Do we go that way? Do we go that way? If you're doing chevrons, that's pointing towards the ladder, yeah? So it's always telling the guys which way to get off the roof, yeah? Okay, keep working it. Now we use a roller like this, a 4-inch roller. You would do for a walkway. But on the balcony, you use a big 9-inch roller. Make sure you stir the tin up really well before you start using it, because all the grit will stop to the bottom. So you need to bring it back up to the top. I'm not going to take it right to the edge. Okay with this so far?
Yep.
Okay, so work it with your roller. If you use a really heavy fleece roller, you can get a nice texture onto it. Okay? And once you've got the texture you want and that you're looking for, yeah, the thicker the roller you use, the bigger head, fleecy head roller you use, the better texture you're going to get. Once you've actually got it to the shape you want, start pulling the masking tape off. hell, you was crap masking tape this morning, this is really good stuff, this. You get that without getting covered. There we go. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so anti-slip, this will go off in about 20 minutes. Walk on it straight away, yeah? Lots of different colours in there. You've got the red, yellow, green, blue, all of which are really vibrant colours, yeah?